All right. So I'm now in the mood for a roast break. Okay. I got plenty of barbecue on the plate, on the platter. And I want to deal first, out of respect, I want to deal with last night's fight. Now, as you all know, I did not make an official prediction, but I spoke on this fight. But y'all know I wasn't happy about this fight. And I said like it felt like an unfair fight, like they was knowingly pushing Luciendo too fast. Based on my comments, many of you could tell that I thought Lemos would win. Because I was saying it don't seem fair. Seems like a grown woman against a child. And what I was saying is Lemos got experience. She fought the current champion. She's fought the former champion, Jessica Andrade. I mean, why? I don't understand why they did that with a talented, extremely young fighter like Luciendo. Maybe they wanted her to lose. Maybe they felt like she needs to make improvements. A lot of people say that Wei Li, the best thing that happened to her was those 2 losses to Rose. Those 2 losses forced Wei Li to strengthen her weaknesses. And I think that's a strong argument. Because it looks like we're looking at a different fighter right now when we watch Weili Zhang. She looks different. She's far more effective on the ground. And her striking has changed a bit to support her improved ground game. A lot of people believe she's falling off or getting rusty with her striking. No, it looks like to me that she is using different strikes that will enable her to get takedowns and stuff like that. More pot shotting from Weili Zhang. Pot shots with a whole lot of power on them. She can still hurt you, striking with you, as she showed against Tatiana Suarez. And that was like a Superman punch. Wasn't it? That was like a Superman punch that buckled Suarez's knees. So yeah, Lemos definitely needed this victory, and I believed that she would have gotten it, but it was just disappointing to watch because I think Lucindo is extremely talented. Lucindo was trying to get that fight to the ground. She was trying to do what she did to Lemos in the early part of the third round for the entire fight. Take Lemos down and control her. I believe she was going to try to build on what Wei Li was doing to her. Maul her. Because on the feet, Lemos' reflexes, her stance, her defense, is just too good for most fighters, in my opinion. High caliber fighter like Wei Li could get some things done on the feet against Lemos. But I just felt like it was too much too soon for Lucindo. And she didn't get beat bad. It wasn't embarrassing. It's something that's definitely she can learn from. So I don't know if she's still training with the likes of Amanda Nunes. Hopefully she is. That way she could get some advice from a fighter like Nunes who suffered losses early in her career. And, you know, has the mentality, knows how to bounce back from a loss, especially if it's not demoralizing. Lucindo was not taking a beating in there like that. Much of it was just control time, partially deflected shots. The injury to her eye, that was like a grazing shot. So we'll see what they do with Lucindo going forward. And Amanda Lemos. I just hope they didn't genuinely believe that Lucindo, that this was a good fight for her. You know? Wei Li needs new faces, new opponents. And I could understand trying to push Lucindo, but not against Lemos. I think there were better fights for her. So we'll see where they go for both of these fighters. Both of them were ranked. Now, let's move on. I'm going to be watching GFL. I don't know how many of you are aware of the list of fighters in the GFL. I'm going to be watching it. I want to see how these fighters are going to perform later in their careers. Upper 30s, lower 40s. Some of them still relatively young. I want to see how they're going to do. There's a lot of matchups in these divisions that I haven't seen before. And I'll be watching. I'm not going to lie. If I hear about Holly Holm being matched up against Julia Budd, I'm going to watch that fight. See what's going to happen. Holly Holm against several of these fighters. Arlene Blanco, Alejandra Lara is going to be in there. Leslie Smith is coming back. Okay. I thought she retired, to be honest. I thought she retired along with Sarah Kaufman. But okay, I'll be watching. Maria Agapova is going to fight at bantamweight. I mean, just to see her antics, her neck rolling, and to see how she does at bantamweight, I'm going to tune in. Liana Jojua Kat Zingano, she's not done. And it's too bad to watch these fighters. Because I don't think Zingano really wants to fight anymore. If she could not fight, if she could afford to not fight, I think she would not fight. My personal opinion. But obviously the OnlyFans and type stuff, the little fighters who spend significant time in the UFC, I don't think should be struggling later in life. It shows you UFC's pay is garbage. They're straight up garbage. In a sport where you work like 2-3 times a year, 4 times a year. You should be well taken care of, risking your life that many times, for a reason. This is a deadly, deadly sport. They got bantamweight, strawweight, and atomweight in the GFL. Strawweight, Hannah Goldie is coming back. So she ain't making enough money with the OnlyFans. Okay? She ain't making enough money. Paige Van Zandt, I've been wondering, and I've made another video about Paige. What is she doing with this Powerslap? She's all in with the Powerslap, all in with the OnlyFans, all in with GFL. You still want to fight? Okay. I'm gonna tune in. Because she is now 30, and she's supposed to be in her prime around this age. Same with Hannah Goldie. Alimale McFarland will be fighting. Now, we've definitely not seen her matched up against any of these UFC fighters. So I'm going to be tuning in. Cynthia Calvillo? I mean, come on, man. Most WMMA fans going to tune in for these fights. At least some of them. Just to see what's going to happen. Viviana Pereira, I don't even know if she can make 125. She blew up after having kids. Josephine, okay. Josephine, she was just in the UFC. Okay, and they have an atomweight division. So this is like Bellator. It's basically the replacement for Bellator. Bellator replacement, GFL. And they have a whole new mixture of past the wall fighters. Okay. Just like I used to tune in to Bellator, I'm going to tune in to GFL. And Corey McKenna, familiar face, going down to atomweight now. Really, 105? Jessica Penne, well, she definitely shouldn't be. And I know she don't want to continue fighting. I don't think she really wants to keep fighting, Jessica Penne. But you know what it is. A lot of these girls figure, hey, I can get the belt and make a good living. Jessica Aguilar, I definitely thought she was retired. I recognize Anastasia Nikolakakos. She fought in Palace Athena, right? Had a controversial victory. She's still undefeated, 5-0. Right? You got undefeated. She probably the only undefeated fighter in GFL. Is she? No, we got a 6-0 here. Camelia Reynoso. Okay, Melissa Amaya. Listen, as long as you got undefeated fighters there, that's going to increase interest. You got another one here. Thane Mosquita. Okay, 3-0. Is that where she from? No, fighting out of Dubai. Okay. Yeah. Like I thought, no undefeated fighters at bantamweight. So I'm going to be tuning in to the GFL. Now, moving on. Valentina Shevchenko recently made an unbelievably humble statement that should come as a surprise to people who viewed Shevchenko as arrogant. She said there's no right answer. Wait a minute. There's no right answer as to who is the pound for pound number one between Weili and me. Wow. Wow. There's no right answer. So basically she's saying, hey, even I'm not sure if I could take Weili. If I would most definitely come out on top against Weili. I would have to fight her and see. Very honest. Very honest. She's being realistic now. So this is what I was talking about. I said if anybody has the mindset to bounce back from a loss, it's probably Shevchenko. And I think this is a good sign for her. She's being realistic here. Her loss, she had a trilogy with Grasso, who also came from 115. And she's looking at Weili's striking compared to Grasso, Weili's ground game compared to Grasso. She's more formidable on the ground than Grasso. So why wouldn't Shevchenko believe that Weili would have a chance? If Grasso can handle the extra weight, why wouldn't a more muscular strawweight, who would be a former strawweight if she moved up and fought Valentina, why wouldn't a more robust, muscular, thicker fighter also be able to carry the weight, handle the weight, and have pop? Remember, Shevchenko was knocked down for the first time in her career by a former strawweight. I'm sure she's already thought about this. But to come out, now remember, before Shevchenko was saying how she would take Weili, that would be an easy fight. Remember? She's been asked about, this is not the first time she's been asked about Weili. She didn't give this type of answer the first time. So she's not being delusional. You know, we got to give her credit for that. She's not being delusional at all. And I said that's a good sign because I think she's the best candidate to be champion. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, she was clipped, given a hard time by Grasso, defeated by Grasso. But she got more weapons. And I think just an overall more difficult, formidable fighter in general for the other fighters than Alexa Grasso. So whoever is next to defeat Shevchenko, you know, I'm not going to say that it was it's hard to say that, hey, this was a broken Shevchenko, right? Hey, Grasso already softened her up, especially seeing how Shevchenko did better in the second and third fights. It wasn't like, the whooping was nonstop in all three fights. So, yeah, humble statement. Very humble statement, in my opinion, by Valentina Shevchenko. And I feel like Powerslap has really highlighted the power difference between the men and the women. If you look up Powerslap compilation, it's not that many times where a woman was knocked down or knocked out. Now, I don't watch Powerslap. I've never watched a Powerslap event. But I have been a victim of the UFC spamming the timeline with Powerslap videos. And they sneak in these shorts, exactly when the person is getting slapped. And I see the girls getting slapped. And usually, it's like nothing to them. It's like nothing to them. And this is the one time where your shot should have some serious effect. You're getting a free shot smack dead on the chin. That's why men mastered how to slap somebody. You gotta slap them with part of your forearm. You know that line below your thumb that separates, for black people, the white part of your hand. You got to get some of the black part of your hand on their chin. If you do, it's just like a punch. It's just like you smack them across the face with a blunt object at that point. It's no longer a genuine slap where you just using like your hand. And after you make contact with their face, your hand sort of bend backwards to take some of the sting and force off the shot. No. When these men, if you watch, when they knock their opponents out, they're hitting them with their flipping forearm, basically. And a lot of women are doing that, but they're not really getting these knockouts. Because like I said, I still believe this. Women can take just as much pain as men. It's been said that they can take more, which helps them, bear the childbirth. The pain of childbirth. They just are not as strong as men. They can take just as good as a shot, but they don't have our power, our speed, our force. So there's a lot more clowning. These slaps, most of them don't have no effect whatsoever. Even when the men are not knocked out, they're usually dazed and confused. Don't know where they are. They're seeing stars, even when they're not knocked down. These girls throwing parties after they get slapped. So yeah, this is why I give Barber a C+. I do rate fighters with power. Females with power. I'm going to be more likely to give you a chance. That was hilarious. I'm going to be more likely to give you a chance if you got power. Like with Karine Silva. She got power in her hands. There's just not that many women with power in their hands, with knockout power in their hands. Macy Barber could actually hit, I think, any of these girls on the chin and hurt them. Hurt them. Whether she will or not, yeah, I'm not going to bet on it. Once she starts to fight fighters at the top, I'm going to be picking against Macy Barber just back to back. I'm going to spam Barber opponents as my picks. Okay? But I don't even think it's going to have to come down to that. I think she's going to get slapped around, knocked back down in the rankings, and those other girls should be fighting their way up long before Macy Barber has a chance to fight all of the girls currently at the top of the division. Ain't no way. So yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Shevchenko did well at 135. I think she's talked about going back. Now, a lot of people talking about Nunes possibly coming back. I don't know about that. I've seen those posts that she's made where she looks like she's in fight-ready condition. This is really the photo that people are referring to, where she looked almost like she's, ready for the weigh-in. She's a little thicker than weigh-in ready, but you can tell she's in real good shape. She's been like this for a while. If you follow her, for the most part, she stays in good shape. But I see a lot of girls who are even retired staying in good shape. A lot of girls in between fights who don't have no fights scheduled staying in top-notch condition. Because a lot of these girls, Claudia, for example, she's still in shape. She hasn't had a fight, I don't know how to. And you follow her Instagram, she stays in the gym. Claudia stay in the gym. A lot of these fighters stay in the gym. Joanna has gotten thicker, but she's still in good shape. She still works out. A lot of these girls still hitting the gym. How long has it been since Marina Moroz fought? But you got also, that's another thing. A lot of these girls got OnlyFans. So they got to stay in shape. They want to stay in shape for their OnlyFans. Paige Van Zandt, Carolyn, pretty much all of them got OnlyFans, if I'm not mistaken. They all got an OnlyFans. And I mean almost all of these fighters stay in pretty good shape in between fights, even if they haven't fought in a long time. So hopefully, I have a feeling too, like others have, that if Kayla wins and she does it in a dominant fashion, that she might actually come back. I do think she's thinking about it. Look at Chris. Hashtag Cyborg Nunes 2. Oh, well, Chris, if there was a Cyborg Nunes 2, it would be titled Nunes Cyborg 2. Okay? Chris is confident she'd do better. I think she'd do better too. And what's going on with Chris anyways? Sitting on all those belts, I don't think she's had a fight in a while. Juliana Pena, I think I talked about this already. She's going to need a stoppage, I think, in my opinion. I expect Kayla Harrison to win. Hopefully, Kayla can win. You know, it's just more intrigued with Kayla. And look, Pena hasn't fought anybody. Already, Kayla has fought more fighters in the division. Well, not anymore. Holly Holm is gone. So, I don't know. I'm taking Kayla, and I'm just a sucker for undefeated fighters. They always bring more buzz. That's just what it is. All right. Okay, yeah, I believe she's doing the same thing. Yeah. Now, don't worry about, my smoke videos. A lot of it is for entertainment, but I am dead serious about what I say when it comes to debates. If I say I'm debating, of course, I'm meaning what I'm saying. Are the points true or not that I'm making in the videos? Okay, and you got to understand, too, a lot of these jokers, they're poor. They're lightweight poor. So they'll have their internet working for a while, and then for a while, their internet is not working. They're behind. They got to wait till they get a paycheck, pay their internet bill. So don't sit back waiting for responses. It might be a while, or they might not happen at all, especially when you make yourself look silly by saying silly things. It's not that hard. No matter what take you make, or if you want to predict how great a fighter might be, I think your first reference should be their record. Have a thorough understanding of their record, and you better have a thorough understanding of their skill set. You taking a fighter with questionable record, questionable skill set, questionable health, questionable mindset, a cherry picking on top of that. Man, just literally the worst fighter to predict to be a threat against the likes of I believe, an improved Shevchenko. I suspect Shevchenko might have gone through the same thing Weili has gone through. Those fights with Grasso, I want to see if they're going to make her better. Because look at what she was able to do in the third fight that she wasn't able to do in the first two. Get her down repeatedly and control her. Despite the fact she wasn't raining down shots on her. I get it. But she's come out of it looking, a little stronger now. Her striking was the same. I think Shevchenko's striking, for the most part, is always on point. But she showed an improved ability to get Grasso down and control her on the ground. So if Shevchenko's a better version now, after being challenged like that, boy, these girls are in some serious trouble. And that would mean you have fighters like that in two divisions, strawweight and flyweight. You got a fighter who's, through losses have improved their game. Fighters who was formidable before those losses. So good luck. I like to see it because it raises the bar, raises the standard. Girls, you're going to have to step your game up if you want to get that strap. I'll land my plane there.